right. Let me just double check that my sound is coming in good. All right. It does appear as though everything's coming through good. Let me test the chat box right now. Should come up. Thanks, Ash. Let me see. It should pop up on stream. I don't know why the chat box is not. I can see it popping up here. Let me double check on this. Just one moment, and then I will begin the stream. Huge transfer news that's coming through today. The end of this transfer window is absolutely electric. I'll be honest with you. I've struggled to even just keep up with some of the news that's been coming through because there's been like I feel like once every 30 minutes something pops up and it's a little tough to keep track of, but also it's just absolutely electric, to be honest. Obviously, the Alexander Isak situation that happened late yesterday came in kind of towards the evening time here in America. But even just since then, there's been so many. Mark Gahey this morning, probably within the hour it got announced. I just put out a short on it. I do think that this will probably be the last transfer that Liverpool have this window. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of tweets. Someone tweeted, Liverpool have had the best transfer window in recent history. I think so. It's almost like we've had so many transfers that it's like we could realistically, some of them could even flop and will probably be all right. Like, it's unbelievable. I honestly and truthfully, I mean, I remember, a different time as a Liverpool fan when this was just not the case, and now it's very, very different. Things are extremely different. Let me test the chat box out again. Okay, cool. Chat box is up too. Up and running. Nice. I don't know why it wasn't working at first. Very, very weird. Yeah. Yeah. What's up-o? Good one, Ash. Love that. Yeah, no, honestly and truthfully, one of the best transfer windows I've ever seen from any team, but certainly one of the best transfer windows from Liverpool I've ever seen before. I mean, I don't even know where to begin to talk about what Liverpool have done so far this transfer window. You have the likes of obviously you want bounce? No. I can turn it off real quick.
Keep doing your thing.
Oh, okay. So I only have I think like 2 concurrent viewers, so if you want to bounce you can.
I can walk by like it's
all right. I thought you were pointing. I don't know. Yeah. I think to begin the transfer window, the biggest one for me was obviously the Florian Wirtz situation. One of the best transfers I've seen in quite some time, broke the English transfer record. And then we've done it again with Alexander Isak. We've broken the British transfer record once again, £130 million. I think that honestly and truthfully, if you were to look at like the situation surrounding Isak and Liverpool and Newcastle. I think Liverpool won that whole duel, so to speak, between Newcastle. Merely just down to the fact that we got him for £130 million. I think that, and a big issue that I had with the Newcastle stance that they've had in the transfer window was I felt as though at no point was them holding Alexander Isak down to the finances, because Liverpool paid $130 million for him, and I think Liverpool were willing to spend that money months ago. You know, I don't think it was ever down to the money when it came to Newcastle. I think it was merely down to the fact that they could not find a replacement for Isak, and they wanted several replacements for Isak, and they haven't been able to do it. So I think, obviously, Johan Vissa is going to Newcastle, and they have I don't even know how to say the German kid's name that they just signed, but I've never heard of that kid, Nick, whatever his name is. I've never heard of him, and I quite literally, I follow football like way more than I probably should. If I've never heard of you, it's probably because, you know, not that you're a bad player or anything like that, but maybe you just aren't a world beater or world renowned or anything along those lines. And obviously the Vissa transfer went through as well. We got the Here We Go from Fabrizio Romano recently, and I think, you know, if you're a Newcastle supporter, it's probably not ideal. It's probably not what you wanted to see from this entire situation. But your club's also getting $130 million. Now, granted, you're using that money. You're spending $55 million on Vissa. By no means have I ever thought Johan Vissa is worth $130 million, or sorry, £55 million. Obviously, Isak's $130 million. I mean, good luck. 27 years old, I think Vissa is, so he's a little bit older in age. You know, I truthfully, I've just not been impressed with Newcastle's business this transfer window. I think Alanga was a decent signing from them, but you know, I think they kind of I don't look. And when it comes down to the Isak situation at Newcastle, I for one have never been happy with the way he's handled it in entirety. When it comes down to, you know, oh, you have Isak sitting out. I never like to see players do that. Frankly, I think it sometimes it's become too regular occurring in the Premier League and top flight football in general, that, oh, I'm just going to sit out. These guys get paid £100,000 at the very least weekly. These guys are multimillionaires who are just not showing up for their job. I think it's a little ridiculous. I do think there was probably a ton of conversations that happened behind the scenes between, you know, the likes of Newcastle and Isak. What's going on, KB? Thanks for joining the chat, brother. I do think there's been a lot of talks behind the scenes, you know, between Newcastle and Isak. That's been one thing that he said, that there were promises that were broken, that, you know, when that happens, the relationship can't continue. He really forced this move. I understand if a Newcastle supporter was to say, hey, I think Isak's a rat. I would not hold that against him. I obviously was not happy with how the Trent Alexander-Arnold situation occurred. Difference is that Newcastle are getting £130 million. We got Jack. So, you know, like, it is what it is. I think Newcastle made out quite well. I think £130 million for Isak is an adequate amount of money. And then, you know, likewise, I think Crystal Palace have done well with the transfer of Mark Gay. You know, KB said, over the moon, brother. I can't recognize this football club. Feel like I'm dreaming, man. Slapped Arsenal, then Gay and Isak, man. What a weekend. It's crazy, KB. I remember the times that players would not overlook Liverpool. Obviously, we've always been a big club, but, you know, the likes of Coutinho, Suarez leaving, I remember players would choose Chelsea, Arsenal, United over Liverpool, and that's just not the case anymore. You see what's really, really showed me this transfer window, how much the club has changed, is you see guys like Isak and Gahey where their sole focus was on joining Liverpool Football Club. They could have probably gone to the likes of of Chelsea, Arsenal. There could have been some interest there. Listen, if Arsenal had interest in Alexander Isak and he was considering joining them, this maybe would have been a lot more of a tense situation, a lot more moving parts, and a lot more competitive. But I think the fact that he only wanted Liverpool it speaks volumes to the influence that Liverpool currently have on the Premier League. It's a great time to be right now. I would say is one of the best times to be a Liverpool Football Club supporter. I think we're by far and away, even under Klopp it was great, but we were the second best team in the league at that point with Pep's Manchester City, who are terrible right now, but we were 110% the second best team in the Premier League. Now you can't argue to me that Liverpool aren't the best team in the Prem. In the game this weekend, I mean, look, I have been, if you guys watch any of my stuff, KB said, "How are you doing, brother? Everything good?" Everything's great. Fantastic, man. Cannot complain as late. The game yesterday, the one thing that's haunted me a little bit was after the Community Shield and after the first game against Bournemouth, I admittedly was a little critical of Dominik Szoboszlai, and when I say a little, I was very critical of Dominik Szoboszlai. I thought he definitely did not play well in the Community Shield. As well, I don't think he was great in the first game against Bournemouth as well. Since then, we've seen him play as a right back while Jeremy Frimpong and Connor Bradley are injured. I think he's done a really, really good job at right back. And then yesterday, obviously, world class goal. And yeah, I'm so excited for him and what he's got going on. Now I posted the video after the Community Shield, and I posted it specifically on my TikTok. I don't know if I put the short on YouTube, but I posted on TikTok, and I basically was frustrated, and I said Dominik Szoboszlai needs to be on Fraud Watch. Then after the Newcastle game, I posted a video saying, "Oh, Dominik Szoboszlai has really proved me wrong. He played great there. We should maybe even consider giving him more minutes as a right back." And that video didn't do as well. And now I have people going back to the original video where I was criticizing him, being like, "Oh, what do you have to say now?" And I was like, "Yeah, I obviously was wrong." But I said that I was wrong before we even played Arsenal. I said I was wrong after the Newcastle game, which he actually, in my opinion, played better against Newcastle than he did against Arsenal. But the big moment in Arsenal got us a huge, massive 3 points. Honestly and truthfully, he has to be the man of the match for the past two games. The dummy for Rio's goal against Newcastle was almost as good as the finish that Rio had. But then also, too, the free kick. I took a screenshot yesterday of the free kick, and the guy is so far from the goal. Like, the fact that he's just like, "Yeah, I'm going to have one here." Like, the confidence that you have to have in order to pull up from that deep is unimaginable. KB said, "LOL, he definitely saw your video, bro. What a turnaround from Sobo." I don't think he did, but if he did, I apologize, obviously. The thing that frustrates me about it, KB, is I was critical of him because we know how good Dominik Szoboszlai can be, and I felt as though with the Community Shield and with performances that I've seen him in the past, like, I did not feel he was performing at a level that he should be. I think he was underperforming. And now he's playing well, and people are coming out in my comments on TikTok especially, and I'm like, I addressed this after the Newcastle game. I said he played well. Like, I don't know what else you want me to do here. Like, he played great against Newcastle, did very well, obviously, against Arsenal, got us a big 3 points. I don't care what anyone says. He's been playing right back, and he's been doing very, very well. I would not mind to see him get more minutes in at right back because he's done well there. He's done well. The big issue I had with him in midfield was him turning over possession and getting the ball stripped from him in midfield, and now he's doing great. So, really, really excited for him. I really hope that this is going to allow him to gain some more confidence and keep putting in performances like that. If Slot does not want to give him any more minutes at right back, which is likely, he is a center midfielder after all, and we have Frimpong, Connor Bradley. But if he doesn't, the interesting aspect about it is, we brought in Florian Wirtz, and it seemed as though, I think the consensus amongst a lot of Liverpool supporters like myself were that there's a very, very good chance here that Dominik Szoboszlai begins to get faded out from Liverpool because, we're bringing in a number 10. Sobo's best is a number 10. So there's a chance that that he gets faded out, and now we've seen him completely turn things around, and I'm really, really excited for that competition between those two players. KB said, exactly, bro. We know what he's capable of, so some criticism is good. Yeah, I just felt with him like there wasn't as much criticism from our own fans towards him. Some players, like for instance, a Darwin Núñez got a ton of criticism and in most respects should have. But with Núñez, I felt as though sometimes our fan base would go way harder in the paint than was necessary, and then you'd see some players would not get as much criticism as they should. And I felt Szoboszlai was one of those players. Turned it around. He can put in probably about 5 stinkers of a performance before he gets any more criticism out of me because he's been brilliant. He's been really, really good. And we saw another player who we've seen kind of struggle so far this season is Kirkes, and he played really, really good yesterday as well. So I'm very, very excited to see the likes of Kirkes. I would love to see Jeremy Frimpong get back as well. I'm very, very, very excited for him. He seems like he's a different sort of player than we're used to. Very, very quick. Not as strong as, let's say, like a prime Kyle Walker. But when we saw Kyle Walker at Manchester City when he was, firing on all cylinders, we saw a guy who would just utilize his pace to a magnitude that we haven't seen before, and it was unbelievable. Very, very excited. The result yesterday was huge. What do I think of Wirtz, says KB in the chat. Is it wrong to say a little lackluster thus far, KB? I would say, look, we've spent so much money on him, and I think you can see when he plays the caliber of a brilliant player there. But, so far looking at Wirtz, I have to, we're 3 games into the season. I haven't seen anything bad from him. You know what I mean? I was just talking about the criticism I had for Sobo. Part of that was due to the mistakes he would make. Getting stripped of the ball in midfield, misplaced passes. I don't feel as though we've seen that as much from the likes of Florian Wirtz, where he's making mistakes and there's issues. But for me, what's concerning about Wirtz is you spend that much money on a player of his caliber, you expect some sort of creativity in the final third, and I just feel like we haven't seen that yet. I feel like we've seen him play all right, but sometimes he'll make the safe pass, and I just don't see the impact from him in that final third. Now look, this is a Liverpool team. Historically, we haven't had what I would call a true out-and-out right number 10. Szoboszlai, of course, sometimes we'll play Curtis Jones as a number 10 as well. But for me, I don't think we've had a player who is as much of an out-and-out right number 10 attacking center midfielder as we have with Florian Wirtz. So it might be a little bit more of a transition for the team and how we're going to use him. But yeah, I would say it's been a KB. I would say Wirtz has been a little lackluster so far. Hopefully that changes. Hopefully it's just kinks that we're going to get out and we can see him fire on all cylinders. But a little lackluster, I would say, from him. Yeah, but I'm not too concerned. And a big reason, to be honest with you, is we have so much depth now at this point. We have, if you go through the entire team, right? If you look at goalkeepers, we have both Allison and Marmadashvili. Great. Depth in goalkeeper that some of these teams would kill for. Then you go at left back, Kirkez, Andy Robertson. You have Kirkez, who, while I was not happy with his first 2 games of the season, he's played well. So far, he played well against Arsenal, and I think that we can see that improving. And then we also have a wealth of experience with Andy Robertson, who just got named vice captain of Liverpool. Center back, you have the likes of Virgil van Dijk, Ibrahima Konate, but now we have Mark Gahey and Leone as well coming in. And we've seen some questionable performances from the likes of Ibu Konate, so it's nice to see someone like Gahey come in, and maybe we'll get some healthy competition. And then a lot of wealth in how young Leone is as well, so I'm very excited there. Right back, Connor Bradley, Jeremy Frimpong, very, very good depth there as well. And then you have Joe Gomez, who can pretty much play all along that back four. We go into center midfield, Gravenberch and Endo. I think Endo's an interesting player that, I wish we maybe had a different option at holding midfield. No disrespect to him. He's a very, very good player. I do think, though, Gravenberch should be starting in most games. And then in center midfield, Alexis McAllister, Wirtz, Dominik Szoboszlai, Curtis Jones. A lot of healthy competition there. Right wing is tied down from Mo Salah. But then, we've seen some good performances from Federico Chiesa so far this season. So maybe when Salah goes off to AFCON, we can fit in Chiesa a little bit. Then, obviously, left wing, we have Cody Gakpo. Hugo Ekitike can play there. And now we have Alexander Isak. So, Liverpool, I just named off some of our backups, the likes of Chelsea, United, City would kill for, let alone our starters. So I'm very, very excited. It's a really, really fun time to be a Liverpool supporter. I think these last 2 signings were the final things that we had to make. The final piece of the puzzle that we needed to slot in. No pun intended when I say slot in. It'll be. I'm really, really excited to see how we're like, once we get a healthy Gay and a healthy Isak, how we'll fit them into the team. KB said, facts, bro. Wirtz will be fine. We can see the glimpses of his brilliance. We also have Stefan Bajcetic at DM. Yeah, I forgot about Bajcetic because he was on loan last season. That is true, and he's a really, really good player. When he was getting a lot of time under Klopp, it doesn't seem like as much time from Arne Slot, but maybe that will come in time. You never know. But yeah, we have so much. Just the I guess upsetting part about today, which most of us as Liverpool fans won't love to see, is it appears Harvey Elliott is going to be going out on loan with option to buy to Aston Villa. If the loan doesn't go through, I would love to see him come back to Liverpool. But currently, as things stand, obviously, I think we can't. We can't guarantee Harvey Elliott first team football, and I think that's what he wants. David said, "What a time to be alive." Completely agree, David. What a time indeed. It's unbelievable. I honestly can't believe it. It's one of the best times to be a Liverpool fan. I was saying that a little bit earlier in the stream. This is one of the best times to be a Liverpool fan, but one of just any team I haven't seen with this sort of transfer window. Red Times said, "Yo, what's up? Long time, bro. How's it going, Red Times? Thanks for being in the chat, my man. Good to see you, brother." Yeah, it's a great time to be a Liverpool supporter. And even just like if I take a step back and I'm not even looking at it just solely from like a Liverpool supporter perspective, it's a good time to be a fan of the Premier League. We've seen so many big moves this transfer window from multiple Premier League clubs, not even just Liverpool. It's a really, really fun time. I can't believe it, to be honest. It's crazy. David said, "I saw the Liverpool-Arsenal game yesterday with my 3 friends who are all Arsenal fans. Such an important win for my safety." Yeah, they probably would have, especially at Anfield, had they gotten a result there. I definitely think they probably would have let you have it, David. They probably would have let you have it. But, I mean, I thought it was going to be a draw. I think that was a consensus among a lot of people that they expected a draw. But, I mean, obviously, it was a moment of brilliance that separated Liverpool and Arsenal. And, like I said, all credit to Szoboszlai. I've been critical of him in the past, but seeing him get a goal like that, like Steven Gerrard-esque, I saw some people say it was almost Cristiano Ronaldo-esque, the way he struck the ball. It was a brilliant finish, he was so far out as well. Like, I took a screenshot where he was on the pitch in relation to the goal. To have the confidence to take a shot from that deep out, God bless him. It was a brilliant finish. I was really, really happy for him. Obviously, really, really happy with the 3 points. I'd be interested to know what you guys think about how Arsenal lined up from like a non-biased perspective. For anyone watching along, please make sure to like the video, subscribe, get in the chat, and send in a speak pipe if you want to be a part and get your voice heard on stream. David said, "Same. I bet on a draw, but the win is so much sweeter for sure. For sure. I thought draw felt the most likely to me. Obviously, I'm so happy with a win, but you do in certain respects. I don't feel bad for Arsenal because I really don't care. It's like have that, but like I do to a certain extent. I'm like, damn, that must suck. Like it's not even like to be fair. It's not like we really really outplayed them. It was a moment of brilliance from one player. But like I said, I'd be interested what you guys thought about how Arteta lined up. I think he played for a draw, and granted, had we not had that free kick from Szoboszlai and the game ended in a draw, I think both teams probably would have. I don't want to say taken it because I would have obviously been like, we should win at home against any team. But the only team I might in the league, to take a draw a little bit more than the others would be Arsenal. KB said, "Arsenal lineup was very negative. They put so much respect on us." Yeah, I think the midfield specifically was really, really negative and really, really defensive. Look, I think one part that Arteta has gotten a lot of criticism for, and I think it's maybe a little bit unfair, is the fact that he didn't start Eze. I mean, Eze literally just signed with Arsenal recently. He probably has had just only a handful of training sessions with the team. So to put the pressure on Arteta to be like, you have to start Eze now, a little unfair, but also, too, we know the type of player he is. We know there's quality in there. And I do understand from a perspective that, look, Arsenal need to fit some different players in due to the fact of the injuries that we have. Polo Mint said, "Arteta played 8 in defense. We still need to gel. Wirtz needs to get closer to Ekitike." Yeah, we were welcome, man. We were talking a little bit about Wirtz earlier in the stream, and I would say that's probably not a concern of mine, but the closest to a concern I have thus far is his fit into the team. This Liverpool team have not played with what I would call an out-and-out right number 10 in quite some time. Obviously, Szoboszlai is probably our closest to a number 10, but he's almost a little bit of like a hybrid between a 10 and an 8. And Curtis Jones can play as a 10 as well, but obviously he's a little bit more of an 8. I want to see a little bit more from Wirtz. It's nothing that I've seen from Wirtz has been negative. There's been no serious mistakes so far from Wirtz, I feel like. But what we haven't seen from Wirtz is we have not seen him have the impact in the final third that I want. The ability to make those creative passes, to take a player on. I haven't seen it as much. I'm excited because we know the quality of Florian Wirtz, so I do think in time it will come. But I would say thus far he's probably the biggest concern. I was, to be honest, a little concerned with Kirkez as well. But yesterday his performance was great, so a lot of the concerns that I did have for Kirkez has since gone by the wayside. Because I think when you see a guy in our biggest competition that we played thus far put in a performance, a strong, tough performance that he did yesterday, that's when the concern kind of, if you can play like that against Arsenal, I expect you to be able to play like that against some weaker competition. And you never know, maybe it was a thing that, he just needed to gel into the team a little bit. So maybe that's something similar to the likes of Florian Wirtz that we might have to wait and see. But definitely very excited. It's so crazy, guys. I keep getting notifications as the transfer window is going on of different moves. I think Liverpool probably at this point are done in the transfer window. I'm not expecting any more moves. Unless there's a last minute out the door from us, someone leaves, maybe like a Joe Gomez or something like that. Obviously, we were talking about Harvey Elliott leaving as well. Not excited about that, but he's not going to get into the team, guys. Harvey Elliott, while we all love him, he's a hard worker, a very talented player. It will be very difficult for him to get first-team football at this point at Liverpool. So I do think a loan to Villa and a potential, it looks like, for him to be bought by Villa. Not sure if all of you saw the reports on it, but I'm scrolling back right now. Fabrizio Romano, about 3 hours ago, said Aston Villa reached verbal agreement with Liverpool to sign Harvey Elliott. Here we go. Agreement in place with Liverpool on loan with obligation to buy, guaranteed for £35 million package, medical being arranged. And £35 million with this potential for £35 million for Harvey Elliott basically pays for the Mark Gahey transfer as well. 35. And look, if you're a Crystal Palace fan, it's unfortunate you've lost some very, very big players, but £35 million when he had just 1 year left on his deal. That's great business. That's great business if you're a Palace fan. $35 million for one year left on his contract. Come on, man, you got to take that. You have to take that when it comes down to it, because he would have just left on a free at the end of the transfer window anyway. $35 million for 1 year left on his deal. That's brilliant business, man. You can't be upset about that if you're a Palace fan. But I want to know what you guys think. What other topics you want to talk about? Get in the chat. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, too, get in the speak pipe. Let me know what you guys think as well. I want to hear what you guys have to say about Liverpool's transfer window, the Premier League transfer window in general, anything, all teams. It doesn't just have to be Liverpool related. I cover all football related topics, so I'm very interested to hear what you guys have to say. Obviously, I'm over the moon about the transfer window. I'm also over the moon about the fact that we've just gone over 800 subscribers in the past couple of days, guys. So thank you for anyone who's in the chat. Subscribe to the channel. We're still growing. It looks like we got like 22 people watching live. That's awesome. I love that. I love to get on here, and mix it up with you guys and talk football. It's literally one of my favorite things to do. Ashley said, Limo, will you be listening to Sergio Ramos' single? What does that mean? Ash, what are you talking about? Sergio Ramos' single? What does that mean? Did he put out like a song? Sergio Ramos put out a song. Wow. Took a swipe at Florentine. I would listen to Sergio Ramos' song, but I can assure you it's in Spanish, so I will have absolutely no idea what they're talking about or what he's talking about. I mean, that's cool. Everything about how Sergio Ramos has looked over the past couple of years, like he has gotten tattoos and like done his hair. He's starting a music career. God bless him. Everything about like how he has generated his look over the past couple of years, he looks like a singer or something like that, you know, like a Bad Bunny or something like that. Like he 100% looks like it. So, God bless him. I'm going to need to see your reaction to it. No, why do you want me to watch? Why do you want me to watch Sergio Ramos? No. Is it weird? What? Why do you need my reaction to Sergio Ramos' song? Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not doing that. But what other topics do you guys want? I just put it on. This is strange. Why is he wearing a wife beater and jeans? Very, very odd. Very, very odd. But what do you guys think? What other topics not related to Sergio Ramos' song? KB said, "I'll never forgive Ramos for what he did to Salah, so we're not listening to that." Yeah, I'm not listening to it, but I'm watching the music video for it on the side here. Very strange. He's in a wife beater or a tank top. I don't know. That's what we call it in America. And jeans. It's very, very strange. He's holding rosary beads. I'm not entirely sure what on earth is going on there. Yeah, very, very strange. Sergio Ramos. You remember when Ramos like didn't have tattoos and then he just like got covered out of nowhere? He used to have long hair. He looked wildly different. Wildly different. Yeah, no. Get Sergio Ramos out of here. Can't be having that. Can't be having Sergio Ramos in his new single. I love you though, Ash. I'm not reacting to Sergio Ramos' new song. Thank you to whoever subscribed to the channel. We just got 803 subs. Hell yeah, baby. Working our way up to 1,000 subscribers. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. When we hit 1,000 subscribers, guys, I may freak out. I may have a miniature freak out because that would be unbelievable. Yeah, I'm probably... So, I want to know what you guys think. So, I'm probably going to put out a YouTube video in the next couple of days. I'm going to record it. And I'm going to either rank each team's transfer window, or I was contemplating putting out a video where I tier rank each Liverpool signing so far this transfer window. Because we've made so many. I think we've signed Leone, Wirtz, Ekitike, Isak, Gahey, Frimpong. I don't know if I said Kirkez already. But that's about like 7 signings. So with the transfers and I could even do like maybe some of our ranking like the value that we got from selling Luis Diaz or now even Harvey Elliott or Jarrell Quan. There's been so many moves with just Liverpool. I've thought maybe about just doing a solo video where I talk about the transfer window for Liverpool and rank the moves that we've made, whether they're incoming or outgoing. You know, so KB said in the chat, apart from Arsenal, which team do you think will challenge us for the title? So, it's so weird, man. So I obviously thought it was going to be City, KB, but since then, just seeing how City have performed in the Premier League, gotta be real, I've been wildly unimpressed with them. So for me, I'm like, I don't think it's going to be City. Chelsea could be Chelsea. It really could be Chelsea. I think Chelsea. I wasn't very impressed with Spurs, and then they lost again this weekend. So it was like, honestly and truthfully, Spurs were like half a dark horse for me for potentially challenging us. And then they lost this weekend, and like, you know, one loss is not the end of the world, to be honest with you, but Spurs lost 1-0 to Bournemouth. You can't be dropping results against Bournemouth. Although they were good against us Like, I can't hate on Bournemouth too much. I don't want to disrespect them, but I feel like in the current like Premier League, like you can't drop points to teams that you should be beating. Like, you need to be picking up results against the teams that will be in the lower half of the table. Like, and so that's what kind of concerns me a little bit. Well, I don't really care about how Spurs do, but that's what maybe makes me not feel as though Spurs will be challenging as much as I thought they would be. So Arsenal and Chelsea, I think, will probably be our two biggest competitions. And it could, honestly, I'll be real, Arsenal for 3 games into the season having as many injuries as they do, I'm like, damn, man, like, that's tough. You gotta, you have to keep your players fit, and they haven't done that. And picking up an injury to Saliba is another one that is really, really going to hurt Arsenal. I haven't seen any news about how long Saliba could potentially be out, but very, very, very concerning if you're an Arsenal supporter, because he's such an important. Him and Saka, so important to the team. I do think, to be real, I think the likes of here we go from KB. He said, I think Spurs were in and out of the top. They got Xavi Simons and Kolo Muani. Those are 2 huge signings for Spurs. Spurs, I'll be honest with you, if you were going to take who has done the best so far in this transfer window, obviously I would say Liverpool would be number 1. But after that, you could make a real argument Spurs have had the second best transfer window. Like, for real, Spurs bringing in Xavi Simons, and Randall Kolo Muani in like the past week. They also brought in Mohamed Kudus, who's a great signing as well. Dude, Spurs have done well. And going back to what you said, KB, which I might have to correct myself a little bit here, because I was saying that the result that they had this past weekend is obviously concerning. It for sure is. But if they don't have the likes of Xavi Simons and Randall Kolo Muani playing yet, once they get integrated into this team, Spurs is not a team that I want to play, man. Spurs could be good. Thomas Frank. I mean, when it comes down to Spurs, whenever I feel like they get a new manager, they always do well in like the first 3 months, and then there's a little bit of a dip off. So there's always potential that could happen. But, dude, I mean, Spurs have made some really, really good business, and they've done quite well so far this transfer window. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do moving forward. But yeah, no. Like you said, the Kolo Muani one, because the Kolo Muani transfer for Spurs, that one, I believe it might be a loan. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's maybe a loan with obligation to buy. But that's just happened within like the past 48 hours that Kolo Muani to Spurs has popped up. Same thing with Xavi Simons. I didn't know he was linked with Spurs at all. I thought Chelsea was the big link for him. And now, listen, man, Thomas Frank is cooking up something cool there. A lot to look forward to if you're a Spurs fan, for sure. But I want to hear what you guys have to say. What else? Thank you, KB. Keep let me know what you think down below in the chat. Anyone else, feel free to get in the chat. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're still growing. And for anyone who didn't know, I have a thing in my description called SpeakPipe. You can send a voicemail in if you have something that you want to talk about, and I'll play it live on stream. Otherwise, get in the chat. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. Get involved. What football topics. It doesn't have to only be Liverpool related. Anything. Let me know. I haven't had a SpeakPipe in quite some time, so it'd be cool to get someone to call into the chat. KB said, yes, it is a loan. What do you think about the Nicholas Jackson situation? I feel for him. So, KB, I think I saw something on Fabrizio Romano. Yeah, I know that looked like it was falling through, right? but I just saw something. 1 second. From about 1 hour ago, breaking. Bayern and Chelsea seal new agreement for Nicholas Jackson. Deal done. Loan plus buy clause with a new element of obligation to buy included in the deal for 2026 as Chelsea wanted. Jackson already agreed a 5-year deal at Bayern, 16.5 million loan fee. Here we go again. So it seems as though the Nicholas Jackson situation, while it looked like it was falling through there for a little bit, it seems as though it's gotten back on, and I believe he's headed on loan to Bayern Munich. Really, so many teams were interested in Nicholas Jackson. I thought it's been a bit strange. He's always been a player that I didn't really rate that highly. So I mean, hey, interesting, definitely interesting. I mean, Bayern going in for him, good for them. I mean, he's one of those players. It's like Morata. Big teams were always interested in Alvaro Morata, and I was just never understood why. Decent enough player, but KB said, "Oh damn, I missed that." Yeah, it just came through with it. Like, dude, things are changing so much. Like with it being the final day of the transfer window, so much has been changing. Like, you look at your phone, then you don't look at it, and it's completely different than how it was. Interested. I don't know how old everyone is in the chat. I'd love to know everyone's opinion on the impact Fabrizio Romano has had on football transfers. Because back in my day, I know I sound like an unk when I'm like back in my day, but literally like back when I was growing up, like you did not have just one guy on Twitter just breaking the news for each transfer. It was you found out, like, you would find out that a transfer happened as a player is posing with the new kit. Like, that's how I found out about Fernando Torres. Was like it happened, the day it happened was the day I found out about it. And now obviously there were rumors. There's always rumors with football transfers, but like that one, like, it is one that always comes to mind for me, that like I did not know what was happening with the Torres transfer until everything was signed, sealed, and delivered and finished. So I guess what I should say about the Fabrizio Romano's impact in world football is, like, I don't hate it, but I understand like he's got a role to play, but I personally prefer how it was before he had like his imprint on football transfers. I liked finding out that a club would announce a transfer, and that is when you found out about the transfer. And like, I don't really want to just blame Romano, because if it wasn't him, it would be someone else. Like, if he stopped announcing transfers tomorrow, we would obviously have someone fill in that would just like essentially take his role. But I like how it used to be. And maybe I'm just an old head. Some people in the chat or watching along with us might be like, nah, like, I actually really like him, but I don't know. You guys will have to let me know what you think, what your thoughts are on the matter. And also, don't forget to get in the chat. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Send a speak pipe in. I'll play it live. Looks like we got like 23 or 24 people watching along with us. So thank you very much. Thank you to whoever it appears just liked the video, the stream as well. So I appreciate you. Did we gain a sub by any chance? No, we didn't. But if you aren't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. Yeah, it's one of the best transfer. I felt like the last summer transfer window was pretty lackluster, to be honest. And this one's been fireworks. This one's been absolutely fireworks. I've loved this summer transfer window, and now, like, obviously I love it from a biased perspective because I'm a Liverpool fan, but I felt like there's been just so many different moves this transfer window that we have not seen in the past. And it's sick. It's like, we're seeing guys like, we were just talking about the moves that Spurs have made. Like, obviously, as a Liverpool supporter, I don't really care that much about the moves that Spurs makes. But it is so sick to, like, see someone at the caliber of Xavi Simons, of Randall Kolo Muani go to Spurs. These are big players that are picking the Premier League, where that was not always the case, guys. As a big fan of, obviously, Mr. Germson said, I just like the stream and subscribe. Shout out to Mr. Germson. Thank you very much for liking the stream and subscribing. Welcome, my man. If you have, for Mr. Germson or anyone else, get in the chat. Ask me any football and questions you want. Leave a voicemail on the speak pipe. I'll play it out loud on stream if you guys have any questions that you want your voice heard. And for anyone else, please make sure to like and subscribe. I appreciate you, Mr. Germson, and anyone else who's watching along with us. You guys are the best. We got another chat here from KB who said, I like Romano, bro. He hardly gets it wrong. The mainstream media always try to drag it for more engagement, but I see where you're coming from. I do get what you're saying, KB, is that it is actually kind of nice that it's like, not a grassroots, but like a regular guy who's breaking this news versus like a mainstream media organization. That is a part about Fabrizio Romano that I do like, is it's just a dude like doing it, and if you look into his background, like he's been covering football since I think he's like my age, maybe a couple years older, and he's been covering football since he's been like 13, like putting up blogs and stuff like that. So, he's dedicated to the grind. Like, I got a lot of respect for him in that capacity. And like I said, if Fabrizio stopped doing this tomorrow, some other guy would come in and just start essentially doing exactly what he does. So it's not really, I just like how transfers happened in the past where you'd kind of find out a transfer was occurring like when it happened, But it is what it is, man, Yeah, I haven't been the biggest fan of his, but I can't hate I almost hate the game more than the player, if that makes any sense. I hate that it's not the way it used to be, but that I don't really think that's all on him. And like you said, he rarely gets it wrong. You'll have to forgive me if I mispronounce your name, but Awolabi Comfort said, I love Liverpool from Nigeria. Thank you for joining along from Nigeria, man. I appreciate you. I love Liverpool as well. KB said, yeah, he's been, bro. I remember even Sky Sports used to invite him back in the days. Yeah, he's been on his grind for a while. He's been on his grind for quite some time. Mr. Germson says, what's your prediction for Liverpool this season? I think we're going to win the Prem. I think our transfers are reflective of a team that should be winning the Premier League. If we don't, that is it's obviously a great day to be a Liverpool fan. It's a great time to be a Liverpool fan. But with these signings that we've made, I think comes an expectation that we have to win the Premier League. Like, we need to win the Prem. That's, in my opinion, one of it's the biggest. Obviously the Champions League I would love to win as well, but the Champions League is so unpredictable, so to speak. There's a lot of moving parts there, obviously, but for me, I think Liverpool win the Premier League. Hopefully, I think Liverpool win another domestic trophy as well. Carabao Cup, FA Cup, something along those lines, I think would be sick. But yeah, I think my prediction is first to win the Premier League, and then I hope we win another domestic trophy. If not, we win the Champions League too. I think we're going to be a tough team to compete with in the Champions League. And one thing too, Mr. Germson, I was talking a little bit earlier in the stream about the depth that Liverpool have now. I think that's really going to come into play when it comes to competitions like domestic comps, whether it be the FA Cup or Carabao Cup, and as well the Champions League, our ability to field players that we normally are not playing in the Premier League all the time. Maybe it's a weaker competition, so we're able to field the likes of, the Federico Chiesas, Curtis Jones, Andy Robertson. I think that is where we'll see those guys get a little bit more shine. Mr. Germson said, I prefer the league title. Our goal should be to retain the league title. This is to send a signal out that we are here to dominate. I agree, bro. I think to be real with you, I think as Liverpool fans, we if you're a lifelong Liverpool fan like we are, you put just such a big emphasis on the Premier League because we went so long without winning it. So I definitely agree. I prefer winning the Prem title. and retaining the Prem title. Obviously, we have not done that in the modern era. So retaining the Prem title, I think, is really, really important. Like I said, I love the Champions League, and it's obviously like a bigger competition in the grand scheme of things. But I think that, like I said, it's so unpredictable. It's hard to just basically say, oh, we should win the Champions League. It's so hard. Owalabi said, no stop for Liverpool again. I agree, man. No stop for us. Straight to the top. Win what we can. Win what we should, too. That's the thing. Liverpool should focus on winning competitions that we should. Currently, with the signings that we've made, we should win the Premier League again. That's my outlook on it. You can't invest all this money and then not win a Premier League. Mr. Jermson said, nobody has retained the league title in recent time with the exception of Man City. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, United probably did back in the day when I was younger. But yeah, it's just City. And City look garbage now, so it's, but one thing that is good for Manchester City, currently I just got a notification. Donnarumma has signed his long-term contract at Manchester City. So Manchester City have a new goalkeeper, and their new goalkeeper is a Champions League winning goalkeeper. So that's going to be big. I think Trafford obviously had some. I don't know if he had any mistakes this weekend, but the previous weekend there were some big time blunders from Trafford. I think that's a great signing for City. Obviously, I know United were also linked with Donnarumma, but this is what I'm going back to saying. If you're just even a fan of the Premier League in general, like there was a time where the best of the best didn't go to the Premier League teams. They went to, it was the one step under from the best of the best were the guys that the Premier League. Now, we see Donnarumma, Champions League winning goalkeeper, one of the best goalkeepers in the world, coming over to the Premier League to join Manchester City. That's a huge, huge signing for Man City. I just got another notification that Aston Villa should be closing in to sign the likes of Harvey Elliott. Upsetting, I don't like to see that just because I love Harvey. He's a really, really good player, really hardworking player. Scored some big goals for us. I'll never forget the day he scored a late game winner against Crystal Palace away a few years back. I won't forget that because it was the day I proposed to my wife, and it was happening on the way to proposing to my wife. He scored that goal, so it's kind of a day that sticks out to me. But yeah, man, like he's a really, really talented player. A really, really Owalabi Comfort said, see ourselves in the 14th this month. God bless Liverpool. I don't know what you mean by on. Oh, you're seeing us on the 14th of this month. Oh, so September 14th, you're seeing Liverpool play? That's sick. That's awesome, man. My birthday's the day before. You're seeing Liverpool against Burnley then, Owalabi? That's awesome, man. Congrats. That's so cool. Where's that game being played? At Turf Moor. So you're going away to see Liverpool play at Turf Moor. Yes, and God bless Liverpool. God bless you too, brother. Hell yeah. That's so cool to see you that you're going to see Liverpool play. Have fun, man. I hope we get the 3 points. I'll definitely be watching that game thinking of you. KB said, let's keep liking and sharing Limo's stream chat. Let's get him to 1K subscribers. Great stream as always. See you on the next stream. I'm out, bro. Thank you, KB. Thank you for joining along in the stream. Anyone who's watching along, KB also makes content, and he's a streamer as well. So go check out his channel. Make sure to like his videos and subscribe as well. Thank you, KB. It was great talking to you, man. Have a great rest of your day. So chat, you guys will have to let me know what other topics you want to talk about. Anyone watching along, please make sure to like the video and subscribe, as KB was just saying. I really, really appreciate it. On my way to 1,000 subscribers. We picked up a couple subs today. on stream. So I really do appreciate all of you. And if you have any topics, get in the chat. Send a speak pipe in. I'll play the voicemail live on stream. We haven't had a speak pipe in 2 weeks. 2 weeks was the last time we had one. It was from the legend Roster Stocks. If you watch along with my streams, you'll know Roster Stocks. He's the man, streamer himself. United fan, unfortunately, but a good United fan. One of the good ones. Which, it's, depending on, how you look at it, sometimes it's tough to get one of the good ones. I'm sure he'd say the same about Liverpool fans, though. But let me know what you guys think. What other topics you want to talk about. Very, very good stream so far today. I saw we got up to a max of, I think it was like 29 concurrent viewers at one point, which is sick. I'm very, very excited to when I get, over 30 live viewers into the 30s, and I think I bounced up into the 30 live viewers before, and then it will dip down like right away. I'm excited for the time that I get in the 30s, and then kind of stay there. But it's so cool. We have like 20 right now. Mr. Jermson said, with the new signings, who do you think will be our first 11? I think, okay, so I'm going to take that based on once we get everyone fully integrated into the team, because I do think that there's a chance that it might take a game or two to get the players up and running. But I'm going to say, once everyone's fully integrated, what's our best 11? For me, I would say Allison in goal, Kirkes at left back, Van Dijk, and Konate. But Konate, he's got to turn. I'm giving him a lot of leeway here because he hasn't been playing that great. And we just signed Mark Gahey. It'll either be Gahey or Konate alongside Van Dijk. And it very well could be Mark Gahey. At right back, Jeremy Frimpong, once he's back up and running. But again, I could see Connor Bradley in at right back. Holding midfield is Ryan Gravenberch, maybe one of the most solidified positions in our team. And a center midfield of Alexis McAllister and Florian Wirtz, but it could be Dominik Szoboszlai. Right wing is Mo Salah, of course. Down the middle, Alexander Isak. And then off of the left, I would put Hugo Ekitike. Willie M. Wadilo, I apologize if I mispronounced that, said Liverpool have killed IR. Yeah, no, we've been unbelievable this transfer window. JBAX said, yo. What's going on, JBAX? Welcome. And for anyone watching along, please subscribe. Mr. Jermson said, I feel Bradley can play in the midfield. Ooh, that's interesting. I actually think, I could see potentially the likes of Jeremy Frimpong playing. You know what I think, Mr. Jermson? I think there's a chance that when the African Cup of Nations comes around, that we see Frimpong play as a right winger with Connor Bradley at right back, while Mo Salah is obviously away for the African Cup of Nations. I could see that being the case. So I'll definitely be interested to see that. If that's the case, but I think that if I was to guess, I would say that is what I would expect the starting 11 to be once all of our players are fully integrated. I do think Cody Gakpo gets done off the left, and I think Ekitike will filter over there. JBAX says, well done. You guys have signed a rat. What are you going to do in a couple years when he wants Real Madrid? Probably get more money than Newcastle got for him if he wants to go to Real. But I also think, if you've watched how Trent has done at Real, I think a lot of players are probably going to realize, that the grass is not always greener. But of course, JBAX, I'm sure you're a Newcastle fan, so I can assure you the grass is greener over on our side. We're just a bigger club, and that's why you wanted to come to Liverpool. Sorry, man. Sorry, I apologize. But I do love that Bruno G that you guys got. He's a brilliant footballer. It's a shame. I'd like if we went and tried to sign him too, but I think he's too loyal to you guys. I'm sorry. You can call him a rat, but he said he's wanting to join Liverpool the entire transfer window. We're happy to have him. Happy that you guys came to your senses. 2-1? What do you mean 2-1? I don't know what you mean by 2-1. Oh, when Bruno scored? Is that what you're talking about? Mr. Jermson said, strangely, a lot of our ex-players don't do well once they leave our club. Yeah, I mean, you do have the likes of like Suarez, though. But yeah, when they seek greener pastures, a lot of times it doesn't always end in their favor. JBAX said, battered you with 10 men. You picked up a lot of points from that game, too. We have 30. JBX. I have to go and see. You drew 0-0 against newly promoted Leeds. Oh. That's how Newcastle did? Did you batter them, JBAX? Did you batter the team that just got promoted? How'd that go? So hold on one sec. I'm looking up. Hold on. This is the Premier League table. If you look at the top, there's Liverpool Football Club. You're scroll down FC. I gotta go like this. And then look, there you are at 17. No striker. Oh, scroll down FC said no striker. Mr. Jermson said JBAX is really salty. JBAX supports scroll down FC. You can't see them. I hold my phone up. You have to go like this to look at Newcastle. No striker. 0-0 against Leeds. Newly promoted Leeds. What a result for Leeds. Oh, if you look, Leeds are ahead of you in the table as well. They've got 4 points through 3 games. You have 2 points through 3 games. 2 draws and a loss. You came on and you're at Mr. Jermson said JBAX. Your striker is doing his medical with us. No. You know what's we should have at least 7 points if we had a striker, but you don't. And you know what's great though? You just signed Vissa for $55 million. No way you guys overpaid there at all. And then you just signed that one kid from Germany. What's his name again? Oh, that's right. Nobody knows who that person is. Nobody heard of that guy before you signed him. So it's really, really good that you guys reinvested the $130 million that you're going to get from Isak, and that you're going to then reinvest it into Vissa and a gentleman that we've never heard of. And you can't tell me, JBAX, don't get in the chat and tell me that you heard of Nick Wolf, whatever his name is, because you haven't. You've got no clue who that is. Scroll down FC. He said we should have at least 7 points if we had a striker. Yeah, but, you don't. You don't. Your striker is coming over to the big boys. So. But, Vissa and that new guy. Yeah, Doran. I appreciate you, Doran. Doran Tialoff. Sorry, I'm awful at spelling. You could have one if you sold Isak before. Yeah. It's not our fault that you wanted to just hold out. There's no reason for you to hold out until this point. Mr. Jermson said FSG is a really good owner. They might not have oil money, but they handled us responsibly. Yeah, they've done really, really well. There's a lot of people that were like uber critical of FSG, but they've done us well. And obviously, we were all really upset last transfer window when we didn't get any new signings, but in hindsight, it looks really, really good with all the transfers that we've made so far. This transfer window, it's been absolutely spectacular. But I'll take a couple more chats. If anyone wants to hop into the speak pipe and send a voicemail, please do so. JBAX said Arsenal winning the league. Arsenal couldn't even win yesterday. Jump in the chat or send a speak pipe in. Like I said, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll be on here for a few more minutes, taking a couple chats, maybe a speak pipe or two. And yeah, like I said, just subscribe to the channel, guys. I really, really appreciate it. Arsenal winning the league. Arsenal couldn't win away. Arsenal have about like 10 injuries. Arsenal ain't winning the league. We're winning the league. And I can't wait to see Isaac hold that Premier League trophy. Oh, it's going to feel so good right here. When he stood there like this. What do you think? I think we'll give him the number 9, JBAX. WS.Goated said JBAS is right, not going to lie. What's he right about? What, that Arsenal are winning the league? Mr. Jermson said, JBAX, you should be worried about your position instead of worrying about the league title. Yeah, scroll down FC over here. JBAX said, are you American? Sure am. What gave it away? What gave it away? Was it maybe just the way I speak? And I like this. I like some banter, but you can't. You're just spewing nonsense at this point. Oh, Arsenal are going to win the league. Doran said JBAX salty. It will pass. Yeah, it's all right. I'm not worried about it. WS.Goated said Arne Slot is a one-season wonder. Since Isaac hasn't played many games for a while, he won't perform. That's fine. I'll just we'll just put Ekitike, who's scored 3 goals through 4 games. We've signed so many top quality players. We could have 1 or 2 of them flop, and we're still gonna win the league. It's unbelievable. Mr. Jermson said, Limo, what part of the U.S. are you from? New Jersey. WS.Goated. The L ball knowledge gave O. What does that even mean? Gave it away. The L ball knowledge gave it away. What? Oh, I have L ball knowledge? Is that what you're saying? It's fine. It's alright. I'll survive. I think I'll be okay. WS.Goated. Is WS.Goated, are you also another person who has a Vincent Finnis says, I love Liverpool from Namibia. I apologize if I pronounced that incorrectly, Vincent, but I appreciate it, brother. Thank you for joining along with us. WS.Goated has a Fabian Schär profile picture. So, yeah, you're also another Newcastle supporter as well. So I wonder why you feel this way as well. Mr. Jermson said a lot of salty Newcastle fans here. I want the salty Newcastle fans to get in the speak pipe and leave a voicemail. If you're about it, get in, call in to the stream. I'll play it live on the stream, and we'll hear what you have to say. And that goes for any Liverpool fans or anyone else in the chat. Call in, and I'll play it live on the stream. If you got something to say, do it. Doran said... Oh, it was a misspell from Doran. Get in the speak pipe. If you guys are chatting like this, WS go to JBAX, get in the speak pipe. I want to hear from you. I want to hear your voice. Why are Liverpool not going to win the league? Why are Scroll Down FC going to improve? Why are it's gotten to the point, too, where it's like, it's such a small club mentality. You're like, Arsenal are going to win the league. Why aren't you going to win the league? You're rooting for another club. And I've always respected Newcastle. I've always liked Newcastle as a club, but, like, not for nothing. My gosh, the small mentality that you guys have had so far, it's insane. It's baffling. It's wild. JBAX says, we battered you with 10 men, and then you lost. You battered us and lost. You can't. You're avoiding that. I'm not avoiding that. You played very, very well. We played like shit, and we still beat you. We still got 3 points. Like it don't matter that you battered us with 10 men. You lost. Like I think you're avoiding the fact that you lost. You have 2 points. You're 3 games through the Premier League season, and you have not won a single game. You're avoiding that. You're in 17th or 18th. Newcastle can sit back and let the big dogs play. Lucky goal. It wasn't a lucky goal. Have you watched the build up for that goal? It wasn't a lucky goal. Every single player on Liverpool touched the ball except for Dominik Szoboszlai, who dummied the ball for Rio to finish it. JBAX, call in to the speak pipe, and I want to hear what you have to say. Wolfgang says, breaking news, Gahey deal has officially collapsed, deal off. Oh yeah? Who said that? Sorry, Wolfgang. I'm more likely to listen to Fabrizio Romano than Wolfgang. Although subscribe to the channel. Yeah, there's been no reports about this. 0 reports about this. JBAX said, how? If you go down to the description of the video, there is a link to something called SpeakPipe, JBAX, and if you go there, you can leave a voicemail, and then I will play it on stream. That's how you, and that's for anyone. Go down in the description. We won Newcastle with 10 men, says Vincent. Yeah, I understand that they had 10 men, but we won. I can't imagine, like, Newcastle fans want to act as though they don't have a small club mentality, but you're bragging about like a performance that you lost. That's insane. That's such small club mentality. How are you going to brag about a game with which you lost? That's outrageous to me. Blue Jay says JBIX is my GOAT. Nice. That's sick, Blue Jay. Let's see. I guarantee this. I'm clicking on Blue Jay's channel. I guarantee Blue Jay has a Newcastle player as his profile picture. He has Anthony Gordon as his profile picture. Now I'm just getting inundated with just Newcastle fans with pictures of Anthony Gordon and Bruno G as their profile picture, being like, we believe in JBIX is my GOAT. Cake emoji, muscle emoji. Kind of a little strange that you went with the cake emoji for another man. But it's okay. Whatever you want to do. However you want to rock, you can rock like that. I could care less. JBAX has disappeared. I don't know where he is. Who has Bruno? I don't know. Who do you have? He is Anthony Gordon. Who do you have? JBAX. I'm going to your channel right now to see who your pro. I can tell it's not. I think the other guy had Fabian Schär. Hold on. I'm getting a couple. WS.Goated says Anthony Gordon is better than Cody Gakpo. No, you might be right there. I won't. Anthony Gordon's a very good player. I will never say you guys don't have good players. It's just bragging about a game with which you lost, a small club mentality. J_Kicker says, I think Liverpool has equipped well to win the league. However, long way to go. I have a lot of respect for Eddie Howe. Time to work with your new players and start over again. You'll never walk alone. Yeah, I have no issue with Newcastle. I actually really like Newcastle as a club. But they, because of the Isak situation is turning almost like a rivalry thing, I think, with a lot of Newcastle fans. Vincent said, I'm talking about Nunez's goal, 2 goals while we were 10 men down. Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. WS.Goated says, I'm a Newcastle fan. No, I know. And Blue Jay says, I'm also a Newcastle fan. I knew you guys were Newcastle fans. Did I misspeak and say you weren't? I know you, Blue Jay, WS, and their Lord JBX is also. Kyria Johnson said Liverpool. Hell yeah, brother. Love that, man. I want to hear from one of the Newcastle supporters in the chat. I want you to call into the speak pipe. You're all avoiding it. WS Goated said, wait, what did I say? I don't know. You said I'm a Newcastle fan. And so I just read that while I'm streaming. I don't know. I want one of the Newcastle fans to call in to the stream. And if anyone's watching, please like and subscribe. I've done quite well this stream. I want you guys to all subscribe so that you join whenever I stream and stuff like that. So you're a Newcastle fan? I have You'll Never Walk Alone right behind me. I said WS Godin said I'm a Newcastle fan. Blue Jay said I'm also a Newcastle fan. What are you talking about? You guys are tripping. Look at them. They won't smash that follow button down below, guys. Thanks, Blue Jay. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you. I think you might have just subscribed as well. Thank you for joining. I love having JBAX is busy sobbing now. WS.Goated said, no, you just said I'm a Newcastle fan. All right. You know, I was reading the chat that's on the screen, WS.Goated. Now you're messing with me. Blue Jay, I think that was you who just subscribed, so thank you, bro. I appreciate you jumping on stream, even though you're, we like different teams. I appreciate it, though, man. Thank you to whoever else is subscribed, too. At 805 subscribers now. I'm about... What's the math on that? 185 away from 1,000 subscribers. That's going to be fantastic when I hit that, man. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to hit 1,000 subs, dude. I need to get my public watch hours up because I just only stream now. I don't record any videos as much anymore, so... But yeah. Thank you for subscribing, man. Let's see if we got anyone calling in. Nope. Nope. So what else do you guys want to have to say? 195 full. Doran said the same thing. 195. Oh man, I've had a howler. I've had a math howler live on stream. Caleb said missing the videos. Mr. Germson said, what do you think of Ten Hag getting sacked so early in season? Ten Hag's awful. Caleb, you said missing the videos. You want to see more videos rather than streams? I'll have to record one this week. Get it out for you guys. JBAX says, I went to the toilet where your club belongs. Scroll down FC over here. Kyria Joshua said, guys, Liverpool to sign Isak is a real bid. Yeah, man. Looks like it's coming through, brother. Very excited for that. Very, very excited for that. Blue Jay said, JBAX stinks. You guys definitely, the three of you were definitely like friends or something like that and joined onto the stream. Edo Walker says, C.A. Foster Liverpool to the world. Not entirely sure what that means, Edo, but I appreciate it. Caleb says, lives are fine, but I don't got the time to tune into everyone. All right. Caleb, I appreciate you for joining though, man, and I know you're always watching my videos. I'll have to definitely make sure to get a video out this week. I'll try to do one or two a week and then stream as well. Streaming's just fun because it's fun to like get on and talk to you guys as well. So that's why I kind of like doing it. It's just fun to get on and engage with you guys. It's really, really cool to do. All right, a couple more chats. What do you guys want to talk about? Like, subscribe. Please do. My back just cracked. I don't know if that just came through on the mic. We got any more chats, or is that it? That it? You guys just want me to hop off? Damn. All right. Let me double check that none of the Geordie boys called into the speak pipe. I'm sure they didn't. I'm sure they ran in fear. Didn't want to drop a voice note into the stream. Thank you all for watching. I really, really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I'm 195 or 185, depending on how good you are at math, away from 1,000 subs. So I appreciate any of you guys that joined along with me today. Thank you very, very much. If we don't have any more chats, I will see you guys on the next video. Thank you to whoever's liking. Doran said, "What's the news on Gahey?" We got a confirmation from Fabrizio Romano a little bit earlier ago that he should be signing. Yeah. I think someone came in and said that he's supposed to be. The deal fell through, but I think that's nonsense. All right, you guys. Thank you all for joining. I appreciate each and every one of you. Blue Jay sent cake. Blue Jay, what's up with the cake? Blue Jay, you hid from the speak pipe. All right, guys. Thank you all for watching. Like the video. Subscribe. Appreciate all of you. I'll see you on the next stream. Take care. Bye.